Morning, Patriots. So in 31 days of the shutdown, tomorrow's the first. If you kind of want to know what's really going on, you have to think outside the box. You have to think like a Democrat. What have Democrats been doing? Attacking your Second Amendment rights, censorship, sanctuary cities. It's like they're trying to run out the average everyday American, what this country was founded on, and trying to change it into something else. So the shutdown doesn't really have a lot to do with Obamacare or the Affordable or so-called Affordable Care Act. They're testing the waters. They want to see what the people will really do when things get tough. Okay, after the 2020 election, you had January 6th. A mild taste of what happens when you piss off Americans. A mild taste. I don't agree with the destruction, of our Capitol. I have no problem with you going into the Capitol. That's our building. But the only way you can truly see what you can get away with, create a little suffering. This is a test. Nothing more. They want to see what they can get away with. They want to see what people will do with a little bit of strain while they sit back and watch. So that the next thing that they want to do, they'll have an idea what the American people do, but they'll see how far they can push that. They'll want to go as far as they can. The Democrat Party letting people come in this country unvetted, illegally, just open up the borders. They were trying to gather voters. They figured if we give these people what they want, and then we force the U.S. government to grant them citizenship, the dreamers and this and that and whatever, they'll see what we've done for them, and they'll keep us in power for the next 200 years. Well, they hate Donald Trump. They did everything under the sun to try and prevent him from being president. Why? Because he was throwing a monkey wrench in their plan. So now the gears are not turning as smoothly as they wanted. But you need to pay attention. It's smoke and mirrors, man. Over here, they got food stamps held up, TSA, troops, everybody not getting paid. While they're over here checking something else out. They'll squeeze in the troops' pay. Mainly the Republicans will, but they don't want to be responsible for a lot of death right now. So, yeah, they'll try to give a little here, a little there, but the Republicans are smarter. It's all or none. But again, the Republicans are not calling out the Democrats for what they're really doing. They're testing the waters. You would think both parties would work hard to make this country better. They shouldn't be fighting each other this hard. It is not hard to make America great. Once you put America first, put Americans first, it's not hard. You know, you do it right, you work together. I see the country running one way. The Democrats see it running 3 different ways, all at once. If you run it properly, the way I see, you know, you make reasonable laws, reasonable immigration laws, only allow a certain amount in at a time, and concentrate on your citizens, America runs great. If you want voters, perform better. Don't try to throw extra bodies in to make up for the ones you're losing because of the bullshit that you're putting out. Because immigrants don't know no better. All they want to do is get in here and they'll do whatever you say to be here. Even if that means giving you votes for nothing, for no reason, because they don't know, they have no idea what your plans are. They haven't been here. This is why they have no rights to vote in our elections, because they're not even from the country. They're from another country. So that's like opening your elections to the world and allowing the world to decide who's in power instead of us in our own home. But I'm not going to allow my home, my country, to be railroaded the way the Democrats are railroading our country. Our country is not for sale. Not for anything. Not even power. January 6th, you cry about an awful lot. So you Democrats, let me tell you this. That was just a small taste. You really piss us off? Ain't a soul on this earth that will save you. I believe that. I saw it in their eyes in January 6th. Something didn't feel right about that election. And today's, with electronics and all that stuff, it's easy to get around that stuff. You just got to find the right intelligent dude who can get into it and stuff and do things behind closed doors and nobody's looking. I sat there and watched the election in 2020 where Trump was ahead 100-something thousand votes. And then in an instant, they swapped places that fast. I was beside myself. I've seen them creep up little by little, but I've never seen it switch that fast. That was a red flag to me. Okay, but that election's over with. That's done with. Okay, fine. That's behind us. I do believe you need an ID to vote. That way you vote once and one time only. And you're registered to vote. You have to be an American citizen to vote. There ain't nothing wrong with that. But the ones who have a problem with that, that's because they want people who are not supposed to vote to come in and vote. And Democrats will know illegal immigrants will give you all the votes in the world if you let them in. If the Democrats would have been really, really intelligent when they had somebody in office, they would have done a lot more than what they did. But this shutdown, like I said, is a test. Democrats are testing the water. They're pushing the envelope a little further so they can get an idea of what they can, kind of give them an idea what they should try and what they shouldn't try yet. Instead of trying to make this country better, it's like they're trying to enact a coup, but doing it nonchalant in a way. So all my patriots out there, pack your bags, load your mags and stuff, because, I used to hear that term a lot, and I was like, yeah, overreacting. Ain't nothing going nowhere. But now I see how hard the Democrats are trying. They're trying so hard that it doesn't bother them to have their own constituents, their own voters, suffer for whatever stunt they're trying to pull. So, yeah, you're trying to spark off something? I don't know. But I promise you this. If it happens, we're coming to you first. We're removing you from office that day. No elections. None of that BS. We will walk in your office and drag you out. America is not for sale, and we're not your pawns. We are not your leverage. We are your boss. And you do what we tell you to do. You don't do it on your own. And you do it for us, not illegal immigrants. So Democrats, you better get your minds right. You better get your heart in the right place, because we're getting ready. We're waiting for you to really screw up, and we'll show you what it's like to be an American patriot. So in other words, don't mess with us. We'll show you just who the boss really is if you continue. The ballot box is around the corner, and we're going to start with that first. Since you wanted to play a little political stunt, we're going to make sure you fill it at the ballot box. Y'all have probably just made career suicide. Some of you may scave by the skin of your teeth. Not every one of you. I will tell you this, you do have some balls. I wouldn't count too much for brains, but you do have balls. But remember, without brains, your balls will get you in trouble. So the best thing to do is to take care of the American people first. Because until you take care of home, you can't do nothing for nobody else. Our country is closed. We have some work to do. We have a lot of healing to do. And y'all need to get on board before you find yourself replaced. But anyway, stop messing with people's livelihoods, because yours is out in the open. Yours is very vulnerable. And if you continue, the American people are going to mess with your livelihood. And we will not forget. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, pray to God every day. Ask God into your heart. If you're angry about something, don't get violent. Pray to God. Give it to the Lord. You have a right to defend your life and your family's life and everything that you worked hard for. Take a breath. Look at what you're doing. Know what you need to do before you do it. Don't run on on excitement or anxiousness. Take a breath. Let that thought run through. Know what you want to do. Know what you need to do before you do anything. And when it comes to firearms, remember your 4 rules of firearms. 1, keep your finger off the trigger until the decision has been made to fire. Know your target and what is beyond it. Never point your firearm at anything you're not willing to destroy, because, accidents do happen. And always treat your firearms as if they're loaded, because they are. But take care of one another. Take care of your neighbors. It's important. Even rich people need their neighbors. Even rich people. Nobody's immune from life. But we can all pull together. I'll talk with you later.